Okay guys, welcome back to the channel. First things first, no cowboy hat. I did get into a restaurant that said no hats. They let me in with my cowboy hat. They said, if you're wearing a hat like that, you're allowed. So anyway, got my Coachella swag hat finally came in, and wearing my, depending on how you look at the hobby, this is either LPs or CDs. The common shirt I wear at shows. But anyway, today is wrapping up day 2 of Lonestar Audio Fest, and actually the first half of the day wasn't Lonestar Audio Fest, it was Rhapsody Audio, a big dealership here in Dallas with tremendous brands, stuff I really, brands that resonate with me, like Vox speakers, line source, planar, in terms of much more high-end push-pull, ribbons that definitely take Maggie's on steroids to a totally different level. And in many respects, I find that speaker has almost the highest ceiling of potential if you set it up right, and put it in a reasonable room, and on certain material. Definitely is one of those best of the best. As well as they carry Magico M9s, which are again among the best of the best. And a lot of people, I'll have plenty of music clips of the Vox, Kaiser, Panzerholz speaker. If you're a longtime subscriber, you know I'm one of the ones talking about Panzerholz for quite a while as a speaker cabinet material, but I've never really got a chance to, until recently, listen to Kaiser. Munich, I heard some, and now another model at Rhapsody, very impressive. That speaker is high-end, more than just the cabinet material as well. Adjustable raw ribbon tweeter, and it sounded phenomenal. I have a lot of clips on that as well, and also a really cool horn speaker. The name escapes me right now. That's so much today, but very impressive. The Magico M9s, amazing. My second time getting to hear them. I'm lucky to be even heard them once. Very few people have heard them now. I've heard them twice, and I got to hear them with vinyl today, which is, at least Chris, the Rhapsody, said you're probably only the third person to hear, at least in America, these M9s with a vinyl source. And so that was a treat. Now, they don't like, for the M9s, Magico doesn't like clips, music clips for YouTube. And they may catch a lot of grief on one respect, but then if you launch it and you have a $900,000 speaker, trying to judge it with YouTube clips, they're in a catch-22. So I respect it, because one thing that I can tell you, I don't want to spoil this video, this is more for Lonestar Audio Fest, but I'll have a detailed walkthrough of the Rhapsody room. They take care of everything from power, built room within a room. Each room is a little bit different flavor. When I was talking in one, a different reverb factor than the other. So you can really get a good flavor of what your room may sound like, whichever one is closest to. Lots of cool stuff. That video is gonna be cool. But the Magico M9s, they create a density and a scale that is almost impossible to be relayed through a cell phone video camera or any kind of recording at the listening position, no matter how good the room is. So I can understand they're, wanting not to have recordings out there that don't really showcase all of what that can do, because it really, to me, one of the biggest things about the M9s is those intangibles that don't come through. That ability to create that scale, density, extract so much detail from the recording. Some of that gets mitigated by doing a recording, cell phone, playing on YouTube. So, that's just part of the deal. Got to respect that. They're kind of in a catch-22 there. People are going to hate them for that, and some people respect them for it. I respect them for it. I think you should too. Try to get, audition yourself. Then you'll see, and probably understand a little bit more why it's not something conducive to YouTube. Now, as for Lonestar Audio Fest, totally opposite. These rooms, hotel rooms, are not built out like Rhapsody Audio's rooms. The gear is also at a different price point, but what is so cool about the Lonestar Audio Fest is it's not there to judge sound quality. You're never going to hear anything, even the gear that they have, at the potential in those hotel rooms. You're sitting too close, the rooms are not treated. It's just a case of, still in some respects, they're a little bit better than Munich. But again, you don't go to shows to say, this is the best you've ever heard of anything. That's probably people that really don't understand that you're getting only a fraction than what you can get if you set it up properly in your home. But what you do is kind of what I've been doing and using this show for, is to get to know the design and the people behind it. Ask the right questions to see, are they really pushing things forward and doing things innovative, doing things different? And that's what was so impressive today, starting with the horn that had Korean paper drivers. That was cool. Then the guys, Pure Art Fi and Artist Guild. I apologize if I'm getting these names, they're all new to me. But that $25,000 speaker with the purified driver and the B&G tweeter, similar to what I have in my Geo Research and Extremes, that was very impressive. And I was able to use my own clips. They shared the clips that I uploaded from my USB stick. They shared it between two rooms, and it was very impressive. $25,000 got you not only excuse me, great performance, but it got you great aesthetics that if you didn't know from a big brand name that's high-end and this new brand name, you would not be able to tell that this is a brand new startup. So even from the stands, the density of that wood and the material that they made it of, yeah, that's one to look out for. It definitely passed the smell test, and one in a dedicated room, I think, would definitely have very high performance metrics. At a good price point of $25,000, where sometimes there is a dearth of something that'll give you everything that much higher price points give you, I think that one might just be one to put on your list. Now, as well, I saw another innovative company, brand new, about to launch a product. I think it was Jay Porter, was doing this transmission line active speaker. Again, we're seeing more of those. And doing innovative cabinet design to minimize reflections. Again, you don't see very many transmission lines. And it also has variability, but when you order, besides size of drivers, so depending on the size of room, what kind of base you're gonna need in that square footage. Again, understanding what it takes to build a speaker to your room, your taste, versus just giving you something and say, this will work in every room. That's old school, that's primitive. This is pushing things forward in several metrics. So kudos to them. Also, there was another room that was doing subwoofers. Now he had a single driver, mostly full range driver and a pyramid type baffle, and like a sub porting down, but that really wasn't full range at all, probably not even 100 hertz. It went down to, he was creating this horn loaded subwoofer that's one of the smallest commercially available. And actually, I thought he was joking. He was talking about horn subs, and I made a comment during the video that says, well, a horn sub wouldn't even fit in here. If you've ever seen the Avant-Gardes, they're massive horn subs. But actually, the sub that was in there was his, and he's got the smallest commercially produced horn sub, and it went through a lot of R&D to get there. Now, in my defense, he said, yeah, we are using the corner and the room itself to actually be part of the horn loading. So when you factor in the whole room as being part of the cabinet structure, then I was kind of right. It's still not it's a big thing, one of the bigger subs if you're going to be horn loaded, but it was still impressive that he was getting that level of performance. And Thomas, who was one of my subscribers with me today, he was very impressed by the low bass from that sub. And then we went to another room. Probably the wackiest of all was this, I named it the most transparent amplifier, tongue in cheek, because it had the most transparent chassis I've ever seen. It's basically no chassis, and it was just 650 transistors, 2 toroids, small toroids, and then fans on the back that were coming on and off randomly. I thought that they were like calibrated and biased, like I do my service, if in case heat comes or whatever. But no, they were just, he said they just randomly doing that, and it was so crazy looking and cobbled together like a rat rod car that I said, you're probably best just putting the acrylic top on it and calling it a day, because nowadays with the amplifiers, I mean, there's a arms race for who can make the biggest heat sink, who can make it the heaviest, who can make it the longest and the biggest and the heaviest. It's getting ridiculous. And who can pull more than what the wall even gives you, with these amplifiers. It's getting ridiculous. I'm like, you're not going to win that arms race. Just put a acrylic top on top of that thing, call it a day. People will buy it just for rat rod type purposes. But again, it wasn't for sound quality purpose in there. The room had one sweet spot. I was lucky to get it. But again, these rooms are not really to judge sound quality, or even, you're really just appreciating people that are going after their passion. Business wise, launching speakers or amplifiers like that is very difficult in an already crowded market, and trying to get into dealers is almost impossible. So selling direct, getting exposure at these shows is very important, and it's important for us to bring attention to that. And I'm happy as press to be here, because showing people's passions and trying things and pushing things forward, they may not all succeed in the long run, but it's good to be there helping along the way, and at least giving some coverage, because they're putting a lot of heart and passion into it, and that's usually a good formula for eventual success if the finances work. So hopefully you enjoyed that. I'm so far behind. I'm going to Costa Mesa for the D-Home show in a couple of days. I don't know when I'm going to get all this stuff. I still have stuff from Munich, even Expona I haven't gotten out yet. So sign up, subscribe if you haven't already, because it's going to be coming, but it's going to take a while. And I'll see you back here soon.